What is up, YouTube? What? We got 3? Yeah, I know. I'm on a roll here. So, it's me, at True Star Screamer, and we are looking today at the Neca Ultimate Robocop Edition. Wow, this one's gonna be a fun one. Well, this actually might be one of the shorter reviews I have. Of course, you know, as always, you can catch my photography at True Star Screamer, and you can always catch me every Thursday on the Figure Action Podcast here on YouTube, Thursday nights at 9 Eastern Time. I think I said that twice. You can also catch me on TikTok at True Star Screamer, but I need to film more content, just do more fun stuff. But hey, say hi. As always, give me a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, tell your friends. I would like to get some. I like doing this. I've been enjoying this, and you guys will be the reason why I do this, not just for me. I swear, I'm not just a selfish guy whose ego is. Anyway, we are looking again at the Robocop from Neca, and I had this figure a while ago. I actually had this one. I had a Neca Robocop back in 2014, I want to say. Picked it up, found it at Walmart, and took it home. Notice I said had, because I used it, it was okay, and then it wasn't quite for my collection. Because this was an early Neca figure, it was an early Neca design. I had this, I had some endoskeletons, I got rid of those things because those guys kept falling off the shelf. So, when I heard that Neca was doing an ultimate version of this guy, I was kind of hoping, honestly, some improvements. Because with the Predators, there is a difference between a Ultimate Predator versus its original version. Ask anybody who's had the Jungle Hunter, ask anybody who's had the original movie Predator. And there are some absolute quality control improvements, sculpt designs, etc. So when I heard this guy was coming out, I'm like, cool. I liked the Robocop design. I would love to have it improved. Spoiler alert, kids. There's not much going on. So let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of this. This is Robocop. Part man, part machine, all cop. And this is pretty much the exact same figure that came out. And they milked the hell out of this mold. You had this version, you had the battle damaged version, they had the old video game version for those versions, which was kind of neat. You know, had a flame effect on them for the Robocop vs. Terminator video game. Which, by the way, Terminator figures, those still stand up. This is as dynamic as you're gonna get this guy. Plain and simple. You know, I've been trying to do a little photo montage at the end of these videos. It's gonna be brief. Or to pull it, it's gonna be brief. No, that joke doesn't. But this is supposed to be ultimate. So I was like, okay, cool. And so my buddy Parts Former, he had his hands on it. He kind of hooked me up with it. And I'm kind of glad he hooked me up with it, because if I had bought this guy for 30-something bucks, I'd be a little on the downside. And again, I bought this at Walmart years ago for like 15 on closeout, and I still got rid of it because I was like, meh. Shelf space is shelf space, folks. Looking at this guy, you can see the gaps in the legs. He looks good. It's Neca. Neca always looks good. I mean, you got the etchings here on the chest. I mean, I love my asymmetry. The legs, well detailed. The pistons do actually piston. You know, this, like if I flex the leg here, there's a little piece of plastic that goes in and out to it. I mean, it's well detailed. This is basically a redo of their holstering version. So, hit the button. And you hit the button. And his thigh opens up, and the gun can go in here, and it's a pain in the butt. And you just literally just push it closed. And you sit here and say, please, plastic, don't snap on me this time. That actually happened to me with one of these. That's it. And the inside was plain plastic. It's a feature. It's there. Articulation is incredibly disappointing because once again, this is old Neca. You can see he's leaning forward now. He's doing the Michael Jackson thing. His legs can, his ankles can pivot. That's it. There's no side-to-side ball joint. So when you set these up, you gotta you gotta do a crazy balancing game and hope you don't need to have him go to the left or the right, because his legs, kind of want an A stance. But that was a challenge right there. We're gonna work our way up. There is no thigh swivel on here. There is no boot swivel on there. Single jointed knees, which again with the sculpt I can deal with that, but you gotta finagle something in. He does have a waist, which is nice, and he does have a little bit of ab. He can lean back, not so much lean forward. Head on a ball joint, the neck's in there, which we'll talk about when we get to the head sweat. Has no wrist swivel. Sorry. He's got gauntlet swivel, so he can do that, but he has no wrist flexing. You can't look in and out, so he can. Come with me if you want to live. I know, wrong movie, but hey, he can do it. Things I would have really hoped they would have added, because they could have added a butterfly joint into this. They could have added some kind of bicep swivel, or even, turned this into a peg joint, into a ball peg, so I can get a little bit of dynamics of flexing outward, But no, it's got an up and down. So if I move it this way, it can go in and out. But if the whole thing was just on a ball peg, that I could have had him get a little more outward motion. And as a guy who does photography, as a guy who does a lot of posing, I know he's not a ninja, but I wouldn't mind him being able to do the getting out of the car pose. Just to be able to move his arms out. To have him turn completely 90 degrees, or near 90 degrees, not 90 degrees, but over 45 degrees, and still be able to have the gun point forward. That would give me a little more dynamics. So I would have loved to get a ball joint on the arm. I would have loved some kind of ball joint or some kind of flex joint on the ankles, and that would have made me happy. But no, they didn't. This is the exact same mold. Now, the painting is a lot nicer than the original. It's got a little bit of purplish highlights on here. So it has a little more presence. But, the back looks good. It's clean. This is, again, Neca. I will not fault the sculpt. But they've been doing so well lately with some of the more modern figures. It's like this is just such a step back. And especially doing that with the Ultimate box. They could have still kept the casting for the chest. Again, change the connections on there. I would have preferred that than no bicep swivel, to be honest. I could have accepted that, but they couldn't even give us that. Face looks good, and it's Robocop, so you can have him stoically staring down. Have him on poised for action, but you're not going to get any real action out of it. Accessories. This one does come with more accessories than the original did, which is always nice. The original came with the gun. Here's our gun. No paint on it. It's just a flat black plastic. You do get an effects piece. Now, I think mine is a little miscast, I think. The gun barrel fits right in there. And it's at an angle. Again, I can twist the gauntlet a little, but then it just looks weird in his hand. So this is not a straight 90 degrees outward or vertical. I kind of would have liked that just for my own. This kind of gives a little bit of a randomness to it. I would have liked a little bit of red in this effect. I mean, I could probably paint that on there, but I think that would have really set off this effect a lot better. So, the original one did not come with that. I can't remember if any of the add-on ones did. He does get an alternate hand with the data spike. I would have really liked some silver painted down here at the glove. I mean, this looks cool. But I would love these knuckles. This one with silver. I might paint that myself a little later. We'll see. Or try to decide if I'm keeping this guy, to be honest. But my buddy Matt did give it to me, so I might keep it because Matt's a cool guy. But yeah, that would have been. I would like to have that in silver. The Cobra Assault Rifle. This looks pretty decent. Again, it's got a little bit of paint. The scope screen's got the gray on there. It's got a yellow and red, like the old LED light in there. Maybe I might dry brush this with some gunmetal just to give it some effect. I know one of my buddies, Extra Zero, he had trouble with his tripod and he was breaking it. Matt said bars up pretty good. I think these were backwards and he flipped them out pretty well. The strap is and he holds it There's a reason why I don't have him having it. I have to see if one of my other fingers can hold this. We might do that a little later to do the size comparison. Finally, he does get an unmasked head. And oh my god, this is goofy. This is goofy. Hopefully this is focusing. On the NECA forums and some of my toy groups, I compared this face with the handsome Squidward meme. This is ugly. I mean, I can pop the head off and it fits in there okay, but yeah. This is the only time you're gonna see this head on his body as I own this. That's the only reason I'm doing it. This is gonna be the default head. So let's do some comparisons. Let me go switch these heads out and we will do some comparisons. Okay, we are back and it is comparison time. First things first, let's go ahead and we'll cut to the tried and true. Here is a Marvel Legend. This is the bullseye body with, of course, the crazy Deadpool. I can't remember how tall Wade Wilson's supposed to be, but if you say that Wade Wilson is 5'8", then I guess it sort of works. Well, I got him here. Let's see how he holds the Cobra Assault Rifle. That actually doesn't look too bad. So, if you want to buy yourself a $30 figure for a Cobra Assault Rifle, there you go. God, I hate this. I hate this calf thing that it is in. So, but as always, I mean, it's NECA. It's a different scale. Again, you could do your forced perspective, but meh. Next, we're going to go with a McFarlane Scorpion, Mortal Kombat, since they do appear in Mortal Kombat XX. Notice again, he's doing the freaking lean here. I can't stand that. This is, of course, an old McFarlane figure, but at least scale-wise, they work fairly well. Again, this is older NECA. This scale, like the Terminator figure, for example, they were a little smaller. This guy, I should grab the Terminator, actually. They scale fairly well with that, but, McFarlane, again, a little bit of force perspective, you might be able to get it to work. Going with Neca Predator. Well, they're big. Predators are big, but this is what I was talking about. Old Neca versus new. The scale is just... You can work with it if you want your Predators to look monstrous, but Robocop's supposed to be pretty big, so... It can work. It can work. It's not my favorite. I've had definitely some more fun things to compare it with. So let's talk with some NECA humans here. Humanoid figures. There's with Ash Williams. And this is what I'm talking about, old versus new. And here is the Terminator. I will let you make your own call. They're okay. And again, this is all NECA. So you can make your own decision of if you think this works or not. But I think he's a little small even for NECA. So you. Hitting some of the high-end imports. Here he is with the Master Chief from 1000 Toys. This guy I should really review this guy. He should be next on the docket. In fact, I might even record one right after I do this and just have it come out next little later. I mean, the Master Chief is definitely bigger. Again, I mean, there's no reason I would have these two meet up unless I'm doing like some multiverse thing, but I guess it's okay. And of course, and finally, here he is with Mr. G. And as you know, Mr. G apparently looks good with everybody. So you need to have a party, bring in Mr. G. He will bring up the quality. Not sure what kind of story you're gonna tell with it, but I think it would be creative. So, of all the comparisons, I would probably say the Scorpion and Mr. G are my favorites. Maybe maybe Terminator, but definitely this just looks good. But it's not RoboCop that makes it look good. It's Mr. G that makes it look good. So, in conclusion, if you are dying for a RoboCop figure, get this guy. If you can afford the Mafex one, get that. Not everybody can. I cannot afford the Mafex version, so this is what's on my shelf. So I'm not doing any flex thing or anything else, unless for some reason you catch them on sale. Absolutely awesome. I'm a firm believer of collect what you can collect. Don't, you know, I think what was his name? Bobby Valla once said you should never have to sell off something you love to get something that you love. I'm a firm believer. I love that philosophy. We're not going to talk about what he was talking about with that, but it's still very related. This, though, listen, if you want a RoboCop to sit on the shelf, put him in your case, put him in a display case, have him stand, make yourself a nice backdrop. Go for it. If you have the old RoboCop from NECA, he does have the updated paint job, so he does look a little better. Am I going to say go hunt every target you can to find this guy? Absolutely not. I cannot say this is the guy you definitely need. This is not your definitive figure. Not by far. But I hate saying these words. You know, it's good enough. It's fine. I'll just, unless if somebody wants him for a trade, maybe, but I'm not gonna flip him out there. Again, the box looks great. Actually, the box is my favorite part. He looks great in the box. I didn't even go into it. I mean, it's got a really nice photo back there with a nice city backdrop. yeah, that's pretty much the type of photography you're gonna take with him. So this is. Let me know your thoughts. Do you own him? Were you wanting to get him? Did this make you say, "Oh my God, I need to get him, Dave"? Or, you know what? Thanks for saving me $30. I could spend that on something else. Which, the way things are going with Hasbro, a basic Transformer, which we'll say looks nicer than that. Discussion for another time. So, again, give me a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, and till next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.